It's a really quick look at the Weequay on the US freeze frame card. This is sort of modern holy grail. It's 20 years old and it's quite pricey and it's quite hard to find this carded figure. And it's the US version you want. This is the US version. This is the far more easy to find Canadian version. And so everyone wants the US version. And it's quite expensive now. If you go on eBay and check out how much a freeze frame US Weequay skiff guard costs, it's quite a lot. And it's considered almost like a modern holy grail, like Yak Face was back in the day, or the blue snaggletooth, or a figure that if you're like into collecting Star Wars figures, like if you're into modern Star Wars, this is one you got to own. Especially if you're a powder force collector and a freeze frame collector, then this is an absolute must. And it's quite a good looking figure. It looks nice, you know, it's quite highly sought. And what you see now that's happening is the Canadian trilingual version is becoming a bit more expensive, pricey, because of the demand for the US carded version. So this is the trilingual Canadian version. I mean, the main rate difference is the amount of text it has on the card. It's just got so much more writing on it. But, I mean, it's still a nice thing to have, the trilingual Canadian version, because you're going to have to fork out some dosh for this item now. And yeah, it looks great. So I picked this up this morning. I'm really glad I got it. I've known about this since for a good old 20 odd years. I mean, it was talked about back then. I never saw this in the UK on sale, so you know. But this is like holy grail almost. Weequay skiff guard. And I mean, the only powder force figures that can knock this one down are the transition Luke Skywalker farm boy. That figure is more sought than this. And if the Obi-Wan transition saber exists, then that would be the most valuable modern figure easily. I'm not sure it does exist. That would be short saber long tray, but this is still a nice item, and yeah, it looks great. So I'm glad I have this. Okay, so in Europe they didn't come with slides, they came with a long photograph. I've reviewed that version as well, so you can check that out. Okay, I'm going to keep this video under 3 minutes, so that's the US version, and this is the far more common, plentiful Canadian trilingual version. So just be careful if you ever, make sure that you got this version, the US version. Alright, cheers, goodbye.